Oh my gosh, we did it. We made it. Let's go. Let's go. Where's the button? It's I think it's this one. That one will get us started, right? Did I get it? Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is October 3rd, 2024. And we're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? Yeah, you like that? I got the Voodoo Donuts hat on today. There you go. Check that out. Let me say hello to you. Let me say hello to the chat room. We're broadcasting live on Twitch, and I evidently bumped my camera there. We're broadcasting. Oh no!
Eric Fanart still in just resubscribed for 16 months. Hiya, Jeff.
Hello.
Let the Fritz and Friends good times roll. My wife's birthday too.
It's your wife's birthday. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And I've got a couple of things going on here. Really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. We're broadcasting live on YouTube and Twitch. You can see it right there. There we go. And I got the keyboard. Got the keyboard camera set back up here. I've got my Digma Defy. I've got a couple of messages that'll drop in chat to let you know more about the keyboard. I've updated that. I've updated the information about our Linux laptop that we're using here on stream. We're gonna have a good time writing some code today. I want to go back and I want to get our chatbot updated. It's been a while since we've done work on that. I want to dive in, do a bunch of updates to it because some of the things that it interacts with, some of the APIs that it uses, some of the messages that it sends are just old and wrong, and I want to get those updated and work with them. So let me say hello to the folks in chat. Like I said, we're on YouTube and Twitch. CTI Geek, good morning to you. Paul Pause, hello. C Sharp Titan, good evening to you in Melbourne. Hope you're having a good evening. Billy Cool with a big wave, hello, hello. Yeah, that's right. Another Australian. There you go, Paul Pause. Eric with the sub, thank you so much. Richard is here over on YouTube. Hello, hello. Manoj, it's going well. Thanks so much for asking. Eddie Dre is here. I was watching Eddie spinning the wheels of steel. Do we still say that? Is that a thing from like WKRP in Cincinnati, or am I just too old for that kind of thing? Great to see. I was watching Eddie last night. I had a great time listening in. You're excited for the .NET 9 updates? I am also. There's always great performance updates in there. I'm not gonna land any .NET 9 features with the updates that I'm going to do today, but we'll still have some fun. We'll still have some fun getting things updated. CTI Geek uses a Microsoft Natural Keyboard Pro. How does this split keyboard compare? So you can use the keyboard command in chat there. I can't. I'm on the other keyboard. I've already rewired it over to the Linux machine. So I need to set up the other keyboard in order to do that. So I've got to bring in the other keyboard. That's not keyboard. Keyboard. There you go. And you can see all the information about the Digma Defy ergonomic. Yeah. And see, the old keyboard command is still sitting there from the Fritzbot, so we'll get that bumped out of the way as well. How you doing there, Ramtena? Hello, welcome. Your poor Windows audio will be reset. There's a Windows 11 update. I'm actually on an insider's ring, and I've gotten the updates, and no big deal. It does reset all the devices, all the audio devices. That's something that we just have to deal with for right now. And honestly, I would love to be able to write a PowerShell script that would reset all the devices back to the way that I had them configured. Like, that would be really, really nice to be able to do. So you're excited to try out the hybrid cache stuff. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I think there's advantages coming there. What I'm afraid of is that folks are going to default to hybrid cache, and they're just not going to use the other things. And that might be a good thing to do. I'm not sure that we're quite there yet. C# Titan asks, do I liaise? Ooh, liaise. Pardon me while I go liaise. With Mads and Anders from the C# team. Sure do. I talk to Mads every a couple times a year, typically around events, as they're getting ready to release features. I sit back and let them cook as they're building features and capabilities. Jeremy with the resub.
Jeremy Knight _me just resubscribed for 56 months. Good morning and have a great stream.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Really appreciate it. And so I do talk to Mads a bit. I'm going to get the charity set up here to go back to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. I'm just not quite ready for it yet. Ramtena with the follow. Thank you. Very much appreciate the follow. Any hot reload updates in .NET 9 or push to .NET 10? There were a couple of developers that were working very hard on hot reload updates for .NET 8 that they were evaluating them, they were reviewing them, and they've been working on getting those set up here over the last, I forget how many months, 9-10 months. And I'm not quite sure if they've made the cut for .NET 9, but if they have been, if they are ready to make the cut, should be pretty significant updates both in performance and capabilities. So hot reload is a very sensitive feature. A lot of folks have vested interest in how hot reload works. So have I tried one of those elevated keyboard like the Kinesis? Let me show you something here. I'm going to get music playing in the background first. Let's go with the Stream Beats EDM playlist today. And I'm going to scroll down here somewhere. And let's start here. This is called Baseline Blitz. For a song called Baseline Blitz. Where is it? Here it comes. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Check it out at streambeats.com. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for creating this music that we're listening to today. So, this is the Digma Defy. It has legs on it. Come on, you know this hat. It didn't find the hat. In fact, it errored out. It didn't. It took the picture and it flat out errored out. So this has the ability to raise at any height that I want. So I can prop this up. Oop. Yeah, that's the bottom one. And if I want that one, there we go. Right. So set it to whatever height you want. And now you've got that sideways, vertical, raised typing that you may want. Very, very cool capabilities that are available. And really enjoy the flexibility of using this. Now, I have it connected. I normally have it connected with a wire to my desktop, my Windows desktop. And I've shifted it. I'm not connected. You see the wire's unplugged. It's unplugged on both of them. Because I have it connected with RF to my Linux machine so that when we go over and start writing code today, I'm using my keyboard on the Linux machine instead. And I have a secondary keyboard plugged back into my Windows machine for moderating and any interactions I need to do with chat. So that's out there and available. I'm looking around and realizing I left my gunner glasses, I think. Yeah, I left them in the other room. So we're gonna have to go to a different pair of glasses today. Maybe we go to the Warcraft glasses today. That'd be fun. For the Horde and all that. Right? There they are. Let's see. Is that .NET or Visual Studio or both? .NET, which will improve the Visual Studio one as well. C# Titan says, I have to say that adding and limiting security access to pages and APIs are much easier in C# than it is in Java. That's why you love C# and Blazor. So this is something that I think the team, the .NET team, can continue to do better with. Oh my gosh. Wow, is it Renan and Raid BCC? Thank you so much for the sub, bringing that Prime sub here. Much appreciate. And I mentioned it. We're gonna set up the charity subscriptions, the charity donations for all of our subscriptions, cheers and advertising revenue. We're gonna set that back up to go to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Not only do they make the Raspberry Pi devices, but they also make, they also have training centers they call coding dojos all over the world so that kids, folks that want to learn about tech, can get involved and learn all about programming with Raspberry Pis and all kinds of great stuff. I don't have a glasses command. That's one that we've needed to add. Maybe we'll do some work and improve that today. But these are the Gunner World of Warcraft edition, and you can see right in the lower corner there, you see there's a Horde logo etched on the lens in the lower corner. So these are there's two versions of these. Of course, there's the Horde, comes with a fantastic red bag there with the Gunner logo, the Horde logo, and of course, World of Warcraft themed case with the Horde logo. If you get the Alliance version, it's a little bit different with all the Alliance stuff, but I don't use that Alliance punk stuff. No. Oh, and it does come with a wipe cloth here inside with, right, Horde logo. Very cool stuff. And of course, Gunner, I am a Gunner ambassador. They do send me free glasses. If you do buy glasses using my code, you'll get 15% off. Use the link down below. And of course, they give me a little something for that as well. Shame I couldn't get the Diablo 4 glasses. I wasn't playing Diablo. And they had a very limited supply of those. So they sent those to the creators that were doing Diablo. And that's okay. I also have the Overwatch glasses. I really wanted like a masculine. Thank you so much, Twitch, with the block there. Much appreciate. We will ban. We will report. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Oh, I don't have... wrong keyboard. Oh, this is going to make it fun. Oh, boy. Bring that right back over here. You get to watch me in slow-mo do this. Right here. Selling viewers. And we'll submit that report. Goodbye. Arrivederci. So there we go. So right, I do have the Overwatch edition glasses as well. I would have liked to have seen a masculine version of, right, a more male version of the Diva glasses, because I enjoy playing that character in the game. I appreciate that they made a very femme-shaped pair of glasses that really accentuates the lines and shape of a more female face. I appreciate that. I get it. But it says something towards when you are making something that is for fashion, deciding which one is for a masculine shaped face, for a more slim female face. Interesting problem to have. C# Titan says would be great if they made a cyberpunk edition. Would be. I think cyberpunk. I think the the trend for Cyberpunk has tailed off at this point. Do I know if GitHub Copilot, the personal license, has an API that could be used in an AI agent? I don't. And my studies of GitHub Copilot are going to ramp up here over the next few weeks. The early word is that I've been asked to give a presentation and work in the experts zone at Microsoft Ignite in Chicago. .NET Conf is November 12th through the 14th. The following week, it sounds like I'll be in Chicago for a couple days, giving a presentation and in the expert zone answering questions. Turns out when you're on the internet streaming and answering any and all questions that folks throw at you, you get pretty good at this stuff, and they want you to do more of that. So we'll see. I'm waiting for the final confirmation on all of that. So we will see if that comes through here. Did it? It didn't. Doesn't look like it purged this person's. No. All right, whatever. You appreciate the Blazor and C# teams for making security so much easier to incorporate. Not the language shame, and I do use Java for some projects, but you find it frustrating. So this is something that hopefully you're going to see even more work done on from the .NET team to make it easier to do the right thing with security by default. You're already seeing a bit of this, and you've seen a bit of this with ASP.NET MVC, where we want you to fall in the pit of success. We want you to, without writing any code, have a good architecture with ASP.NET MVC. Pivoted, and we wanted to support an MVVM-like interaction with Razor pages. Folks like that, so let's bring that same concept into Blazor. Great capabilities, but moving forward those features and capabilities to make sure that security, by default, when you want it, is configured the right way. That's really hard to do because no two applications really have the same security configuration. So how can we make it flexible enough so that it can adapt to whatever application's needs, and also provide capabilities so that by default it kind of does the right thing? It's an interesting problem. It's a problem that needs to be solved, needs to be addressed. But you're right. The way that ASP.NET Core allows you to just decorate a page with an authorize tag, or use an if statement, or even a block of tags to say authorization required, and here's the role that's needed, or here's the set of claims that are needed. Really cool stuff to make enabling and facilitating not just authentication, but authorization to pages and features throughout your application a heck of a lot easier to write. Loading up on the coffee, feeling good about that. Let me catch up on some more of the messages here. Oh gosh, Eric. All hail Jeff Guru Fritz. It's a great way for me to collect feedback from the community. So much value in creating live content. Eddie, spot on, right? When there's discussion, when there's samples of things, it's easy to just grab a clip of the discussion, grab links, and share them over to a team. Work through a sample here live on video, discuss, get feedback. Yeah, that's what I was seeing. No, I was doing it a slightly different way. And even if it doesn't turn into a feature or a fix inside the product, to turn that into some documentation or a blog post that will teach the right way, or even a Roslyn analyzer or a code fixer, so that we can drop that into and next to our code, so that it will provide that feedback as you're using the product, that, hey, while this is possible, you may want to consider or look at this over here. Great example of that. Fantastic example of someplace where I think there should be a Roslyn analyzer, is in this last week's Blazor puzzle. Now, I can share what the Blazor puzzle was and what the answer was, because we've already chosen the winner. We've already recorded this week's episode. Have you checked out the Blazor puzzle podcast? Carl Franklin, you know Carl Franklin. He does the .NET rocks. But if you go to blazorpuzzle.com, you can see we've been doing this now for more than a year. I think we're in at 13 months now. We've been recording this podcast where we show either what we think is a bug or an example of an application that's built with Blazor, and we give you a little bit of a hint at there's something wrong with this, or there's something we want to accomplish. Help us out. And you have 1 week to check out and solve the issue, right? Provide a solution to the puzzle. You email us the solution. If you're the randomly chosen winner who got it right, we send you out a mug and a t-shirt. So, great little game show that's, each episode's maybe 10, 15 minutes long at the longest, but all kinds of little puzzles. An analyzer I would love to see was in something that we showed in last week's puzzle. I could even dial up last week's puzzle and show it here on stream, couldn't I? I could. Because I know that most of you out there, most of the folks watching this, have not won the Blazor puzzle. Because I know who we've sent mugs and t-shirts to, and I know that we haven't sent them to anybody who's watching this stream right now. So let me park that idea, and we'll come back to that in just a second. So Jeremy says that Olama with CodeLlama or CodeGemma model does have an API you can use. Right. You can get some of the smaller models that you can run locally, and you can build with an API against them. Yes. C Sharp Titan asks, Steve Sanderson was the creator of Blazor. Yes, it wasn't initially called Blazor. It was initially just, hey, let's get .NET running on WebAssembly. Let's see what this looks like. It was 2016, 2017, thereabouts. And hey, it wasn't that long ago. 2018. And sure enough, with a little bit of work, a little bit of tweaking, got it working, and they named it to Blazor. He gave his demo infamously at NDC London, where quite literally he blew the roof off the joint because nobody was expecting this. .NET is a big clunky framework. Oh my gosh, how can you use that in anything that needs to be fast and small? Blah blah blah. Got it running in the browser with WebAssembly. So, right, if we do a quick search here, let's see here. Steve Sanderson, NDC, introduce Blazor. It wasn't .NET 6, it was like .NET 3. 2019. A new framework for browser-based apps. Yep. So, it was an hour-long presentation. Really, I'm not signed in? All right, fine. This one. Yeah. This was NDC London. The video was posted in July of 2019. So, really, really cool stuff. You think Copilot is better for Microsoft languages? Here's the thing. We have an event coming up in 6 weeks between .NET Conf and Microsoft Ignite. Here's the thing. there's a marketing cone of silence that comes down about 8 weeks before the event. And we go silent and don't announce anything or share anything. And I'm not saying anything that is out of line. You can see we're not sharing or announcing anything because we're saving those, making sure that everything is in great shape. Ads are rolling now for the next 2 minutes. We're saving those for the event, and we're going to make big announcements, and that's the kind of thing that you do at a big event. We do this every year. So it's not unexpected that we're making announcements. We're showing product updates at Microsoft Ignite. So there are product updates and things that are new features, new capabilities that they're polishing and making sure are in great shape, and they'll release at the event. So there are analysts, there are folks out there that are saying, hey, Microsoft hasn't released anything in the last month. Well, yeah, because we've got an event coming up. Microsoft hasn't announced anything. They must not be able to keep up. No, we have an event coming up where we're going to announce all that stuff. Like, you're the press. Shut up. You know what we do. Come on now. That's like saying in July and August, oh my gosh, Apple, they don't know what they're doing. They haven't said anything about a new phone. Gosh, what are they going to do? They haven't said anything about the chipsets they're buying and how they're going to produce and manufacture new phones. When we know there's going to be an Apple announcement the first week of September every year. Duh! So for analysts and the press to say, Apple must not be making a phone because they haven't said anything. Come on now. Don't be an idiot. Don't be a moron. Come on now. So wait and see. There is a team that is dedicated and diligently working on Copilot. And I can promise you that there are product announcements at Microsoft Ignite. I can't tell you what products, what announcements, but I can promise you there are product announcements at Microsoft Ignite. Okay? Eddie says, even with Blazor and having the imports file in the folder level protecting all the pages below, the Blazor team just making it easier to have security in place so easily. Yeah. Being able to define and have references easily shareable throughout your application. Yeah. Gosh, you'd think these folks have been building frameworks for the last 30 years. Still testing to see which of the models are best for C#, and that's cool. Because of the stream, you want a t-shirt and all paid vacation for 2. Environment variables for win. There you go, Red King. You want a t-shirt and paid vacation. Because of this stream? Tell me more. How did you not know about Blazor Puzzle was a thing? Oh, yeah. Carl is speaking. So there is an event called Trailblazer Conf going on. I was not invited. That's okay. But they're doing their thing. My address bar here is showing too much information. Give me just a second here. I need to hide some of this. And yeah, turn off. Dear Lord. Where is it? The address bar. No. No, just turn off. Sure, okay. Sure, that should be better here. Let me just make sure. That's not bad, okay. So I wanted to go to Blazor puzzle com. My typing with this keyboard has gotten much better. Much better. So we'll go over and talk about Blazor Puzzle in just a little bit. How did you not know? Yeah. BlazorPuzzle.com. What was the other thing that I wanted to talk about? Don't remember. What are my thoughts on the Apple Intelligence debacle? Given that Copilot and Gemini have been out for quite some time, do I think Apple has missed the mark again? And you find it a long way to go, but Apple will say we don't need to be first. We want to get it right. No. When it comes to the artificial intelligence capabilities and things, you need to get it right. This is not something that can be mistaken. You must get artificial intelligence right. They're learning this the hard way with the VR headset. Movements into completely new product categories need to be right the first time. The fact that there's a startup that launches every day that is some sort of feature overlaying ChatGPT and OpenAI is not innovation. I hate to tell you that, but there's folks out there that look at this and say, "Wow, look at the cool new feature that this company built." They don't have their own models and things. They're just an overlay on top of OpenAI. And is it innovative? No, you can write the same prompts that they are, and they're wrapping a nice user interface around it. You can do the same things. They just made it easier. DHH said something similar last week, where he said, look at AWS is such a great product and terrible product at the same time. It's such a great product because there's a vast ecosystem that's been built around it. It's such a terrible product because everybody hates working with it, and an entire ecosystem of hosting providers have been built on top of AWS that charge you a premium on top of the AWS services that they make available to you. Same thing is true with OpenAI. Folks don't understand exactly how to use it. And people that make it easier to access some of the advanced features of OpenAI are standing up these little startups, these little companies that do something interesting on top of OpenAI and put it in a web browser and charge you $5 a month. It's the quick grab for cash. If that was a goal, if that was what OpenAI actually wanted to accomplish, they'd be doing it all the time, left and right. They'd be spinning these things up faster than the little startup company in San Francisco can run it. That's not their goal. Keep an eye out. Is there more AI stuff focused in .NET 9? Oh, yes, Manoj. Oh, yes. They're planning and getting ready the content for the .NET Conf keynote. You're going to see a lot of that coming. We all know Apple's release dates. Yep. Paul Paw is asking a question to chat. What Linux flavor are you using for .NET, for C#? For what type of solution? What type of application? For me, I'm building websites and little microservices, and I'm using Ubuntu or Kubuntu Linux, and we're gonna get things built and rolled out to Raspberry Pis running Kubernetes. So, right, that's on Raspbian Linux. We'll try and do that later this month. Is DevExpress YouTube the only place to get the podcast? Yes. Yep. DevExpress sponsors and supports the Blazor Puzzle podcast. Hey, Roadblock93. Hello. C# and .NET on Linux. Count me in. Yeah. I'm and I'm purposely not saying .NET on Linux. I'm purposely saying C# on Linux because it's my hypothesis that folks see .NET and they don't know what .NET is. For folks that are in and involved with the .NET ecosystem, we know that .NET is a collection of programming languages, libraries, tools, services that all work together to give you an amazing, productive development experience. So there isn't really a collection of tools in the technical developer ecosystem that line up the same way as .NET. So you're going to see I'm just talking about C# and Linux, or ASP.NET and Linux, or Blazor and Linux. I'm not going to mention the term .NET just as an experiment to see if folks relate to that a little bit better. You won Blazor Puzzle 47. Didn't send the mug, just the all-paid vacation. Ah, I see. All right. So, Carl should have been in touch and gotten that set up. AI is non-deterministic, which makes it problematic to discern whether what it spits out is right. Yeah. So there's a confidence level that they have. Does this meet the goals of what we're trying to accomplish with the AI model? And that's where they can draw the line. You've always done .NET and C# on Windows, but only recently on Linux, says Roadblock. Finding a way around with Visual Studio, running OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. Nice. So I don't use an IDE. I'll use Visual Studio Code. Mythin, hello. Ubuntu with Cinnamon install. All right. Fedora for Red King. Nice. You're using Rider. Yeah, Visual Studio Code's great. Rider is not free. Nope. Nope. And folks will use NeoVim as well. Yes. So, all right. So we talked about analyzer. I wanted to show last week's Blazor puzzle and talk about the values in it. That's what I wanted to talk about. Let's head over to the Linux machine, and I can show that a little bit, and we'll talk. There we go. Look, see, and I even have the keyboard cam still up over here. So, values that bind is what's going on with this last episode. There is a GitHub repo over here that you can connect to. Notice it's marked as an archive. The first couple episodes, there were folks that were watching my activity on GitHub, and they would send over pull requests. Oh, I see what you did wrong there, and they'd send over a pull request. No. The whole point of the puzzle podcast is, hey, take a look at this. Anybody can solve it. And if we put in a pull request and solve it in the repository, then nobody can come along later and solve the puzzle. That's a thing. So we had to archive all the repositories because there were folks that were not just solving the puzzle, but submitting fixes. OpenWRT, which is a Muscle Linux busy box. All right, that's cool. So let's do this. Let me show you puzzle 51 here. So I'm going to clone this locally, right? Here, can we zoom in a little bit? Thanks so much. And there we go. Right, and we're going to go to... Oh, I got to shift that. Thank you. Nope. It's this one. There we go. I'm going to go to my dev folder, and we're going to git clone, and now I need to do Control-Shift-V. Ugh. I hate that it kind of munges a little bit here. There we go. No. Git clone. There we go. So let's go into puzzle 51. And yeah, let's run VS Code here and take a look-see around. So, all right, puzzle 51. And there's a read. Read me is the wrong word. There's a puzzle description that we put on the homepage here. Right? Can I, is it? Yeah, there it is. Go into that folder. Thank you. And let's just .NET. Let's just .NET watch this. So you can see what's going on with this. And we'll wait for that to open. Fantastic. So here we go. .NET 8 Blazor web app with global server interactivity. Nothing too crazy there. The counter page shows an additional text input that's bound to a string. When the counter is incremented, the string value is set to the counter's toString implementation. The string value, okay? Incrementing the counter updates the input box until you enter a value, then it stops working. So let's head over here. If I just click me, it's the counter, right? It just increments the count. Big deal, right? Here's the thing. If we go and we change this value, right, it's clearly two-way data bound to that text box. It doesn't update the text box anymore. What's the deal? So going back over to the source code and we take a look at counter. All right. And if we zoom in just a smidge here. All right. So increment count just says increment the counter, and the counter string is the current count to string. And there's the text box. Bind value to the counter string, bind value on the event to input. So when we actually touch and update values in there, it's going to update counter string. Why does this break? Why doesn't this work? And this is where, when you see what the puzzle answer is, this is where I think there should be an analyzer. Do you know what the answer is? I'll give a few seconds here for you to take a look at that code. You can find this in the Blazor puzzle organization on GitHub. GitHub.com/Blazor puzzle. You'll see all the puzzles out there in the repositories. And this is puzzle 51. This is something that I think should be an analyzer. It's a very tricky mistake that happened that I want to make sure that you're aware of, and that's why I'm reinforcing by showing it here. Does it need quotes? That was the one of the first things I said to Carl was you're gonna trick folks by not having quotes around those. But we'll reload that. And if I go and change this to something else, it still doesn't work. So quotes is not the thing. The quotes was a red herring there. DGen1 said it but didn't say it. You said it but didn't say it. You're right in what you wrote there. Look at what you write and look at the code there and let me know what the difference is. Because DGen1 is right, but right for the wrong reason that he mentioned. Oh, I wrote it to make it right itself? No. There it is. DGen1 has it, right? So we've already solved the puzzle. We've already recorded. We've already awarded this week's winner. But that's the catch. When in Blazor, when you do @ and specify a binding, right? Or you pass in a parameter here. The moment you type @ in Blazor, you've pivoted from HTML to C#. HTML is case insensitive. C#, as we know, is case sensitive. So binding to capital V value is actually binding to something else. But binding to lowercase v And you can see it binding and doing the hot reload down here. That is the difference. Okay. It's a little thing. It's kind of right. It's hard to pick up if you don't know that it's possible. Because why didn't that? And Paul Paws here with the great question. Why didn't that get picked up by IntelliSense? Because there is another value object out there that you're interacting with. It's not the value of the text box. So to a little bit of Paul, you're tripping me up there on your screen name. So a little bit of what Paul is suggesting, I agree with. There should be an analyzer that gives you a warning. Hey, you're binding to the non-default here. It looks the same, but you might have your spelling wrong. And I think just a little warning around that can help folks pick that up. Maybe there is an analyzer as an extension. I want an analyzer in the box. I would like an analyzer in the box with that. If we go over to Solution Explorer here, right? So this is part of C# Dev Kit. If we look at the dependencies, frameworks, so that's not going to dig down and show me. There are some analyzers that are brought in as part of ASP.NET Core. They're right here. And there's a lot of them. So I would like to see in the Razor compiler ones that when you're doing a bind to value, if it's not the lowercase one, give you a warning that, hey, this could be a deal. So yeah, Dr. Gamester, yeah. And it's one of those things where you might want to target the other value. You might want to do that. We're not going to tell you that you're wrong, but to put a little warning in there might be a nice thing to do. And of course, with all analyzers, you can turn it off with an entry in, right? You can turn it off with an entry in the build file if you don't want that to be reported. But I think that would be a valuable analyzer to add and share, because that certainly will trip up folks. So there you go. There's your review, your discussion from the Blazor Puzzle podcast for this week. There it is, blazorpuzzle.com, and there's this cool intro video that Carl created. So there you go. You might recognize the guy with the purple beard over there. Message instead of a warning for those with warnings as error. So if it's a message, you won't get the underline in the editor. If it's a warning, you'll get the underline. Since it's an analyzer, you can turn off the analyzer, right? You can wrap that line of code with a compiler hint to turn off the analyzer, or you can drop an entry in the project file to turn it off as well. So there's lots of ways to control that. And I think you can also override the analyzer's default message, default level. I think there's a way to override those as well. So ads coming up in about 5 minutes here. So that's the Blazor puzzle. Check it out. There's a whole library of these, a whole playlist of them over there on the DevExpress. They're on the DevExpress channel. So take a look over there. There's a playlist. Only 167 views. Come on now. We could use some more. And we also had to turn off comments because people were posting the answers in the comments. Like, But this is part of a playlist. Where's the playlist? There is a playlist for this. Here it is. So you can see all of the puzzles. Come on now, show them. There's only 3 on the playlist? There's only 3 on the playlist. All right, we need to update the playlist. Holy smokes. Carl! Carl! We got to update the playlist. All right. So, there you go. Yep, Blazor Train is his other video showing tips each week about different ways that you can do things with Blazor as well. Chris Funk with the resub.
21 just resubscribed for 39 months.
Hello, 39 months. Thank you so much. Yeah, the playlist killed the puzzles. Yeah. Right, and because if we put it on a playlist, then you can watch the playlist and get notified when, right? You can watch a playlist. Well, you can subscribe to the Dev Express channel and you'll get the notification when the new puzzle goes out. It's every Friday at about 2 o'clock Eastern time. You'll see a new puzzle go out. So there you go, Blazor puzzle. That's some of the fun we've had. There's the announcement Steve Sanderson did where he shows off Blazor for the first time. I don't have the audio coming through, but the first times that he shows off what Blazor is here at this presentation. Did I work out why Redis was not working? Yes. Does it have to do with .NET versioning? No. There is, if we go over to GitHub, and I don't mind showing this because it's in publicly available stuff. GitHub.com.net, Aspire. If we look at issues, and you could look at the issue that I opened, which I think is still here. No, it's not. Give me a second here. Where is it? Yeah, this is it. Broken network behavior from container to host and container to container when Docker desktop isn't installed. This is, I do have Docker installed. Docker desktop does extra work to make this possible, and we lean on it for container to container communication. On Linux, I don't have Docker desktop installed. I just have the Docker service installed. So the connections that are happening between them don't work. So this is something that was completed a few days ago. Here's the issue that I opened. And this is a known networking issue. I have Docker installed because I'm on Linux. There it is. So, like, I don't think, is there Docker desktop for Linux? I didn't think there was.
Developers.
Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Like, I've already got Docker installed. So, do I need this? I've already got the service running, so I don't know. But that's the issue here. So, like, pgadmin cannot connect to Postgres. With pgadmin produces broken pgadmin instance. With Redis commander produces broken commander. Mongo playground test failing to connect to host Docker internal. Aspire Redis commander setup issue. These are all the same things. Azure Event Hub's emulator fails to start successfully. It's because it's trying to connect and rely on Docker Desktop. So, ads are running for the next 2 minutes, so I'll slow down just a little bit. So this is fixed. This is fixed. Okay. Right, fixed by 5628. So this is ready to go. It'll come on the next release candidate. So if I scroll down, you can see the work they did on this. Right, and this is all publicly visible, so I'm not showing anything new here. So they were approved and they were merged in 3 weeks ago. So they will be in the next release candidate. All right. So for now, I'm not going to work with Aspire on my Linux machine. We're going to work on the Fritzbot. Xbox One Online asks, why would you use the bind-value when you can just use bind? You may want to bind and change some things around that. You may want to be more explicit with it. So, bind-value for a specific event. You may want to change that behavior. There's reasons to do it. I agree with you. I typically short syntax just to bind. When should use HTML input controls over Blazor input components and vice versa? Asks Goku Jax. When you do input elements like this with HTML in Blazor, you have to take extra steps to do things like mark them as valid or invalid, where the input elements that are created and given to you as part of Blazor have that capability baked in. So validation becomes very, very easy to do with the Blazor versions of these components. Honestly, for the most part, unless you're doing some sort of validation indication on the component, I just use the HTML ones. It's rare you'll see me use the full Blazor enhanced ones, but the Blazor enhanced ones are very good to use. Does that mean it would never work with Podman too? That's what they're showing, is that they're having problems with Podman, and that this fixes it. Mythin asks, in terms of hosting an Aspire application, do I have any tips on keeping the costs as low as possible? Yes, set minimum number of instances to 0. That way it will shut down those containers that aren't in use, and it will start them up when they're demanded. Set the number of instances to 0. Set the default size of your Azure storage of your database to as small as possible to start. You want, when you're building and running things in the cloud, you want it running hot. You want to be running 90-some% utilization on your Azure, on your AWS, your GCP services. If you're running less than 70% utilization on those services, you're giving money away. You're not using all of the services you've paid for. Either scale down, right? No, scale down is the way that I would recommend. Scale down, or pack more services on that same resource. You want it running hot. You want those utilization percentages as high as possible, and then light up the next instance. Light up the next. Move that slider to the right so that the size of either the instance, the scope of the service then grows, but keep it as small as possible until you feel pain. Once you start feeling some pain that, we could use a little bit more here because things are starting to slow down because we're reaching capacity, then start growing. And it's going to be, depending on what service you use, it's going to make sense to either add a second node, a second container, a second database, a second whatever it is. Or, in some cases, it might be cheaper, easier, faster to just say, okay, take it from a minimum 0 size instance to a 1 size instance, or from a 1 to a 2. Those are the types of recommendations that I would make. I had a session submitted for .NET Conf talking about exactly that, and we're trying to get that into the schedule. There could be one there. Yeah, I didn't expect there to be a Docker desktop for Linux. Because, let's face it, I can just run Docker natively as the service. Tried to get it, but it needed some kind of virtualization. Yeah, there you go. It's good that Microsoft Teams are on top of it, fixing those issues. Yeah. I need to, and there we go. Storm Pooperoo, hello. I gotta change up the keyboard command there and pull it out of the Fritzbot, or figure out a way to make that a little bit more flexible. The Digma one is the one that we're using now here. Love the follow alert. Thank you. E2 the 2i Pi. Today you learned this is a quote from Ballmer. It is. And honestly, when you think about it, it holds true across the board. What makes or breaks hardware investments are the engagement of the developers and the software that's written to use it. If you have a device that allows for extensibility and the ability to update and add new software and do cool new things with it, folks are going to build and enhance and take your hardware in interesting new ways. We saw that with the first iPhone. First iPhone, the only thing you could do with it was browse the web. There was no app market. It was only until iPhone, the iPhone, did they call it 3G? The second iPhone, that they started introducing apps. And then we could start to do stuff with it. So then it took off, right? And the whole phone market became a thing at that point. So, didn't find the hat. It knows this hat. In my next project, while I use Fluent UI Blazor, at least give us an opinion of what type of web apps it can be used in. Sure, we can do that. And we can do some Fluent UI Blazor in the next one. Yeah. You missed Windows Phone, but it had a lack of apps. So, if Windows Phone had adapted the Android Bridge that came in Windows 11 and has since been discontinued, if you could run Android apps on Windows Phone, I think we'd still have a Windows Phone. Let me tell you. So, that's definitely a decision that was probably a mistake. So, in hindsight, we can guess that appropriately, I think. So, okay. So, and I look at, I updated my headset, my Quest headset, and I got, this is called the Bobo head strap. So, check that out, right? So it's got a little bit more here, right? If I hold this down here, you can see. It's over here, right? There's a it's not really a head strap, but it's a pad that goes up against your head. Of course, in the back, there's this nice padded rest, but they put a couple of different pivot points here so that you can really put this in a forehead mount so that it really takes the weight off of the front of your face. It does look a little bit like a stormtrooper. And it's got a connector for a battery that attaches with a magnet right here on the back. So the battery has its own USB port on it, and you can just snap this in, and now you've got an extra battery with 2 more hours battery life that you can hot swap in and out and update and charge the headset in the back. Love what they did with this. Really great stuff. I was using this all day yesterday to do some coding, to do some development, and I mean that immersed application. Once again, they wrote an application that runs on the device that makes it so much better. What was I up to in my 20s? Starting a family, finishing college. I graduated college, went to work at a consulting firm that was helping folks through the Y2K problem. After Y2K happened, got hired away by a .com company and bounced between a couple different startups, building large-scale applications that ran with at the time VB6 and classic ASP, and then into .NET, and the rest is history. That's a Meta Quest 3. The 3S is coming out. If you have a Quest 3, I wouldn't buy the 3S. It's roughly the same processor and lower quality displays. I would not buy the Quest Pro because the Quest 3 has the same displays as the Quest Pro, but the Quest Pro has more RAM and a better processor. The Quest 3 is really, high-tech redneck. You're in the butter zone, in my mind, when it comes to Quest products. So, yep, you could make an Android phone look like a Windows phone. Yeah. You didn't recognize the strap? Yeah, so that's the Bobo strap. There's another version of that strap that they say has air conditioning in it, and they basically put a fan right here inside that strap. Whatever. I wasn't going to pay the extra $50 for them to put a fan in the middle of it. But I get it. I did also buy what they call a Y connector cable that will allow me to connect to PC and connect to power for that device at the same time. This way, when I use immersed, it's immediate. There is no delay going across a network. The response is immediate. There is no latency at all. Because it's wired in, right? I'm not going over a wireless connection into there. Wireless is still great. For the types of things we're doing, coding, writing documents and whatnot, wireless is fantastic with immersed. But when you're hardwired in, it's immediate, and I'm tempted to go back and see what Overwatch looks like again with that hardwired in. The challenge is when you're wired onto the PC, are you getting enough power over that USB connection into the device so that you're not running down on power? That's what I ran into. That's the problem that I ran into, where there was just too much stuff going across that wire, and it would not charge, and it would discharge in a half hour, 45 minutes. Tried playing WoW on it, and it was interesting. Yeah, I bet. Playing games over virtual reality is a whole new world. It's a lot of fun. There are people like Mrs. C Sharp Fritz that will get sick playing it because they're not used to the motion. It's a lot. So, all right. Yeah, Vertigo. Yep. Okay. You can actually get frags in your shooter if people are still learning that. Yes. Yes. Yes, you can. How you doing, Napalm? Do I have my Twitch overlays in C#? What do you mean do I have them in C#? Most of the overlays that you see here are provided by other folks. I did have a series of overlays that I built. Most of the I have them all turned off. The only thing running right now is the bot that listens to chat and responds. Yeah, I did develop it, and that's what we're going to work on a little bit today. You can get that in first-person shooter games. Call of Duty, no, but when I was playing The Last of Us, it got bad. Oh, okay. So let me head back over to here. I'll show you. Let me head back over to the Linux machine here. Let's close this down. And yeah, we're done with that. We're done with that. And this. And there's Steve introducing. So let's go to right. It is right, Fritz. What did I call? Right, what did I call the bot? Go to my repositories. No. Where's my bot? Oh, you know what I called it? I called it Stream Tools. Yeah, there it is. It's been since August 2023 that I've worked on this. Man, it's been a long time. Checklist rundown of segments on the show, follower count API, follower count page, follower goal meter. See, I'm not watching those anymore. We supported Mixer. Mixer. Last of Us Season 2, can't wait. Never got into it. C# Titan asks, when I leave Microsoft, would I write a book on my time at the company, my experiences, the ups and downs? When my NDA expires after it, yes. I've written a series of blog posts, documents that are stored on my server over here offline, that I will unearth and share. Yeah, definitely. Am I related? No, I'm not. No. And I saw the news about Frank, and he, at least up to my great grandparents, no relation. So, did I play Last of Us? No, I did not. Nope. I don't play many games. The Fritz Chronicles. So not only do I write up and summarize, hey, this thing happened and it was kind of weird, and here's something that I thought was a bad decision, or something that I thought was a great decision, or an interaction that I had with somebody that was particularly interesting. But I have daily notes. I have a daily diary that I've been keeping of everything that has happened at Microsoft over the last 3 years. Every phone call that I've had, every email. If there's something of note in there, it's in my diary. And I have everything written down and offline, and it's nothing specific that is secret to the company, but interactions, decisions that were made around products and things that I have written down in a daily diary that I've been keeping for the last 2-3 years. And it's all backed up offline, and when the time comes for me to write that career retrospective, I've got plenty of notes to go off of. There's all kinds of things that I learned from my colleagues, both positive and negative, and I can't talk about and share most of them, but at some point in the future, and I am in my 40s, at some point in the future, I'll sit down at that writing desk like Bilbo Baggins at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, and we'll write it down, and I'll be able to share a bit of that. So, the Fritz Diary serialized, yeah. I was not at Microsoft during the Ballmer years. No. Do I have repository recommendations for someone trying to read more community open source code? Asks fear. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the second half of your screen name there. Fear. Repository recommendations trying to read more community open source code. Is there a particular language? Is there a particular topic you're looking for? Here's what I would say to you to start. In the .NET space, head on over to NuGet. Most of the stuff here is open source. Most of it. So if you look for something like JSON.NET, hey, I use JSON.NET all the time. I really like using that. Wow, it's so great. Newtonsoft JSON, that's the one. There it is. Right? Gosh, I really like using this. How do they make it run and read JSON so quickly? Follow that source code repository link. And then go dig up exactly what's going on in here. And be able to work with some of this stuff in here. Like, where's the JSON serializer? Right, there's all kinds of parts to this. Right, and he's got the copyright jammed up front. But being able to read this, I would tell you to go look for some of those common ones that you enjoy using. Spin down and take a look at some of those. That would be where I would start. Are there particularly good ones to look at? I don't know off the top of my head. I would tell you, if in the .NET space, head over to github.com .NET presentations. And some of our common presentations that the .NET team gives and workshops are all listed in here. So you can go through, and I mean, these are, for the most part, workshops. These are, hey, let me teach you how to do something. And you can definitely dig in and learn from some of these. All right. So that's the .NET presentations organization. So, repositories on my GitHub that are public, I answer questions about, and we write code together. You can send pull requests, and we'll talk about on stream here. So, career perspective, made money, enjoyed what I did, like to do a thing, spending a lot of time in medtech, maybe help some people's lives. There you go. Hey, Fearless, thank you so much. There and back again, a Fritz's tale. Can you call you Raphael? All right. Junie Von Esch is here. My coding journey from semicolon to semicolon. Jeez. Even .NET is open. I wouldn't look at the .NET source code. Because there's some advanced techniques and things in there that going to scare you really good. You have the feeling you've been coding for so long but hardly ever read open source? Okay, so if you've been coding for a long time and you're ready for the advanced topics, go ahead and take a look at some of the ASP.NET source code. Because there's some stuff in there that'll scare you pretty good. The way that it manipulates and works with memory to optimize, oh yeah, it'll scare you pretty good if you haven't used it. If you haven't used those techniques. So, I wanted to grab this and take a look. I primarily use just the chatbot now. I don't use much of the user interface here. Source.net is one of your favorite sites. Jeez. I don't know. Like, Don't get me wrong. Like, sure, there's the .NET source browser. Like, okay. But right, here's the thing. System.web. Is it page? Yeah, system.web. Why are you... Am I thinking of source of? Shoot, why am I forgetting? There's the .NET Frameworks source is available online also. .NET Framework source browser. Yeah, it's reference source. Yeah, there we go. .NET Framework 4.8. So now you could say system.web.page. No. Is it form? I'm forgetting these classes. Oh, man. System web UI? Oh, here we go. UI culture, system web mobile. Yes. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to show you can get down into web forms here and see all the crazy stuff that's in there. Yeah, system web UI. I was right. And I was trying to get down to page. There it is. There's the source code to the web form. Like ASP.NET 1.0 that was released back in 2002. That's the source code for the page in web forms. So, yeah, I was trying to fully qualify it. But, yeah. So, fantastic history of stuff that's out there. Oof. Oof. Just be aware you are stepping somewhere where there be dragons. Like, don't get me wrong. Webforms was a magnificent framework that hid a lot of web complexity from folks. However, it was built with a spider web of connectivity into IIS, into the Windows-based web server, that's called Microsoft Internet Information Server, or we just call it IIS. There's a spider web of connections and interactions there, and it's not the clean separation that happens in Kestrel. And when you look back and you reflect on where .NET is now, previously .NET Core, the big thing that was the change that enabled now .NET 8, .NET 9 was separating .NET from Windows. The decision to allow .NET to run on other operating systems and have an abstraction layer over Windows, over the web server, allowed .NET to catapult itself forward and do different memory utilization techniques, different processor utilization techniques, separate from those services that were natively on the operating system. And it just launched it. The Kestrel is fabulous. Not was, is. So, very simple. Hey, Shell Black. Hello. Welcome in. So I need to keep an eye on my time here. Because I do have, there we go. What about speaking? What's speaking? You like the keyboard? There you go. And there's information about it that was shared over. No, it didn't share the keyboard over. So that's the Digma Defy. All right. I wanted to grab a copy of this and see if we could do some updates to the bot that runs here in channel. So this is open source. It's freely available. Anybody can go out there and grab the source code to my bot. You're welcome to tune it, tweak it. If you're tuning and tweaking, you're going to took it. Whatever. There we go. So, hey, Weird Beard. Happy Friday Eve to you. Welcome, welcome. I've got some adulting I need to do this evening. It's not going to be a fun Thursday night. I've got to get some junk done. So I'll use the Solution Explorer here just because it kind of limits and clears out some of those other files that I don't really care about in here. Look at that. I even have a Docker Compose sitting out here that I don't really use anymore. But there's some commands and things that happen in chat, like some hard-coded answers that are out here that I should get rid of. And it's also loading things from the Vision API. No, wait. Like yeah, here we go. So I have some things hard-coded, right? Like where's the keyboard command? Oh, and this was back when we had cheer graffiti. Oh, that was a thing. Oh, wait a sec. Added a G Fuel command and made the text command. Yeah, look at that. So I've actually got all the commands, all the text sitting in a... I have all the text sitting in a log file somewhere? In a config file? Stop the press. Was I that smart? Can't be. Stand by. Dun, 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 dun. Did I put it in? No, it's not C++. This is C Sharp. It's not in an app settings there. So is it in the app settings up here? And there's the team shoutout format, yeah. Team cooldown. Other bots to ignore, yeah. Attention command, the project command, the sound effects commands. Yeah, look, there they all are. But these are compiled in and sitting inside the container. So I can't really clean these up. Oh yeah, C# is very much like C++. Oh yes. Was there a public interface Twitch had for those commands? No. These are commands I wrote. The chatbot, hang on, let me keep you pinned here. I wrote a command that I call, so I wrote a series of commands. And I wrote a command object here called the text command. And the text command loads up a section from my configuration file that will return a simple line of text based on a command that's specified. So it gets that section, and it gets the name of the command and the response to send, and adds those. So if you send in a command, exclamation point, whatever it is I have in my config file, and it has that, it will send that message back. So here they are. Here's the names of the commands. Right? So right, let's grab the other keyboard here so we can type something in chat. And if I do...
Take it one step at a time. Identify the problem. Fix it!
Right? Like, there's the fix it command. It's right there in... Right? In these sound effects commands. And it knows how to play them back. So... Right? Crush.
After 30 years of waiting, another chance to crush Squirrel.
Yeah. Hey, Sally the Goose. C# and .NET is so nice to work with. Having worked with some back-end JavaScript node, you really learn to appreciate. Yeah. What is the cooldown used for? It prevents it from being played back to back to back to back to back. So there's a 60-second cooldown there if you try and run that again. Make it so, the rim shot, there's the Scott command. And it will, if there's a collection of files, it'll randomly play one of those files. Words are hard. There you go, the words command. See, there you go. Right? But there's a 30-second cooldown in there. So it won't play it back immediately. And here's the text commands. See? There's the Discord, the font, my GitHub. There you go. See? So the keyboard I listed over on Stream Elements. Is it going to load the John Skeet commands? It might not be.
Oh my.
So, right, so there's even a prepare to raid. Tacos. Everybody loves tacos. Oh gosh, remember we used to do that. Come on, tell me it knows the hat.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Voodoo Donuts. Oh! Halloween emotes are live. By the way. Halloween emotes are live. Yeah, the to-do. I forgot about that. Follower goals, follower count. Yep. So, lots of great features that we put in here. Halloween stream actually. So I'm presenting the ending keynote for Azure Static Web App Day. Some of our friends, Stacy Clouds, you remember seeing her in chat. She's organized with our friends Jimmy and Jessica Engstrom. She's organized Azure Static Web App Day. And I am the closing keynote on Halloween for that event. Come on now, Fritz. There we go. Azure Static Web App Day. No. There it is. StaticWebAppDay.com. So October 31st. So my presentation is effectively right at the end of our stream. But hey, you might recognize that guy. So there's a handful of other Hey, I recognize him. There's Thindoll right there. So talks, blah 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 blah. So this is on Central European time. There I am. Running Clip Talk on Azure Static Web Apps. That time doesn't look right at all. But I'm basically going to tell the story of Clip Talk. What was involved, why we decided to use static web apps, how it grew, how it evolved, the challenges that we had, and eventually what led to its demise. So, yeah, those times are really far off. So, the tacos were an important emote and command that we used to have when, yeah, I thought I was at 2000 CET, which is like 3 in the afternoon Eastern time. What was important about the tacos command, I used to show the relative sentiment of chat on screen. I used to have a number on screen that would show you the percentage happiness of chat. We could totally unearth and bring that back. I don't know if there'd be interest in that, but as we get into more AI and machine learning things, bringing that back might be fun. And using a local model to calculate sentiment analysis instead of bouncing off of some other service might be interesting to do. Now I'm out of coffee. Oh, what am I gonna do? So that's what's going on Halloween. Maybe we'll do a Halloween stream. So all of my commands are sitting here in clear text in app settings JSON. Get more coffee, of course. But then I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave you fine folks out there. I don't know. Feels bad, man. You got perfect feedback for your last session. Too much PowerPoint, too much code. Needs more dad jokes. Facts.
Wait, let me explain something to you.
Dad jokes make or break training sessions. At least you got comments. Know what I'm saying? That's a thing. Words are hard. They are. And I have banks of sound effects here that I could absolutely share and allow you to play over stream.
What'd you do?
I gave chat more control over the stream. That could be a bad thing. But I literally have dozens of sound effects here. And I don't touch on most of them, but I think we're ready to give chat more control over those. Because, well, I want you, chat, to help out on stream. Because, well, quite frankly, I want
rustlers.
Yes.
Cutthroats.
Yes.
Murderers.
Them too.
Bounty hunters.
Absolutely.
Desperados.
Sure.
Mugs. Pugs. Thugs.
Yes.
Nitwits. Halfwits. Dimwits.
Sure.
Vipers. Snipers. Conmen. Agents. Bandits. Muggers.
Yes.
Bushwhackers.
Yes.
Hornswagglers. Horse thieves. Train robbers.
Yes.
Bank robbers. Stickers. And Methodists.
I think we have just about all of those in chat right now. I think we do. See? And yes, there was liberal censoring of that clip from Blazing Saddles, there was much censoring of that. Okay? Because let me tell you something.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
See? I could give you control over these things. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Maybe. We don't need no stinking badge. I don't have that clip. Right? Let me say, look. If I gave control of chat, control to chat of my sound effects,
do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
I wouldn't have a chance. Okay? Because I thought...
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
Yes. I thought I figured it out, Hans Gruber. I've got so many more of these that I just haven't used. I'm going to try. I'm going to try and do this, okay?
Well, do your best.
I will. So...
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
See, I need to give you that access. F's in chat. Look at that. Junie's already got F's in chat. What?
You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
So anyway, here's what I'm thinking. I would like to give... Oh, God, I can't believe I'm saying this. I would like to give... Oh. I would like to give you more control over some of these sound effects. Bits for sounds? It's not terrible. There is an extension on Twitch that does that. And I could just load my sound effects into that. Actually, no, you can't. I have these running so nicely here.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is cool when you're part of the team. And building and making this into our own chatbot that has source code that you can interact with, it takes practice.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice, but we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice?
Yes, practice. And everybody can see the source code and work with it. Clearly, having the list of available sound effects here in this hard-coded text file, it served me well when I first wrote the bot. But I think if we move it out into something that's managed in storage somehow, and then go ahead, and then I could make those more visible to you. See, I could also wire up to cheers. And knowing that our cheers are going to be donated to organizations like St. Jude, the Raspberry Pi Foundation, and so on and so forth, I think is not a bad thing. There's a system called Tangia that does all sorts of audio media. I've seen some of that. And look, if I just wanted text replies in chat, I could just wire everything up to Stream Elements and be done with it. If I wanted to have cheer values that triggered specific sound effects, oh, if you cheer 26 bits, it sends out this sound effect. I could do that with existing tools that are out there already with Stream Elements. Like, those features are available, and that's absolutely something that I could just go and configure and be done with. Hey, Grego. Doing well. It wouldn't be a community chatbot. Look, these are problems that are solved, But I want to share the discovery and working through these problems with you, with chat, so that anybody can take this stuff down and configure it and do what they want with it. And this bot has been sitting out there for months and months and months. I'd like to take some of the TagZap Q&A management and put it into here so that we could moderators can queue up messages to go in here. So like we already know how to do that in TagZap. So to push that around and make it visible and available, not terrible. Not terrible at all. And then I can deploy and run it somewhere out on Azure. How many hats does Fritz have? Yeah, see that the Q&A crashed out on that. You do Twitch chatbot development? Yeah. So let's pivot this text command a little bit. So, oh, and the cheer graffiti, man, that was a thing. So wake up. So I wrote these command interfaces. I extended command, and there's also I command down here. Where'd it go? I basic command, there it is. That has a trigger, a description, and a cooldown. There's a basic 2 command that has an execute that has constraints on it. Oh yeah, to infinity and beyond, absolutely. So Eddie, let me talk about that. Let me talk about that. They do have a hackathon program, and they're trying to encourage folks to check out and use their APIs and things to build new and interesting things. A lot of the Twitch developer community walked away from Twitch over the last year. A lot of the innovative folks that were building and inventing on top of Twitch walked away from them because over the last year, Twitch blatantly copied and integrated many of the innovations that folks in the community were building. All of the alerts, the sound effect alerts, Twitch integrated into the platform. The cheer alerts, Twitch integrated into the platform. The interactions with charities, the interactions with music platforms, Twitch integrated into the platform. The interactions with TikTok, the interactions with building and managing clips. There were folks that invested tens of thousands of dollars, me included, building tools and platforms and capabilities to allow folks to manage clips. Twitch went and integrated all of them into the platform and did not collaborate, did not give any credit to any of these creators. So a lot of these folks that were very innovative and built and extended the Twitch platform were burnt, and their investors were burnt hard. Dan Clancy blatantly copies capabilities from developers that integrate with his platform. So a lot of the innovative developers don't want to work with Twitch anymore. For that very reason. As a business opportunity, it's a mistake. As an open source contribution, grow the community thing, it's certainly compelling. But expect, at some point, expect that Twitch is going to copy you, integrate your features, and forget about you. Okay? Like, There's no discussion on whether they will do that. They have done it again and again and again. So when folks talk about the Twitch wanting to host a hackathon and they're giving away $50,000, $50,000 is a lot of money, no doubt. And if you're building something altruistic that integrates and does something interesting with Twitch, read the terms of that hackathon. You do not own the IP you submit. You own the source code. You do not own the intellectual property. They will copy. Okay? And they will steal your idea. And they have every right to. However, here's what they've missed. Here's the big thing they've missed. And you've got me on the rant here, and I've said this several times, and it's the exact same problem that Elon Musk has done with Twitter, because I refuse to call it X. When you allow the community, we talked about adding software onto your hardware. When you allow the community to build and extend based on APIs that you have, and you partner with them, now you've got an army of software developers that you're not paying that are extending and taking your product and making it available in more places. Partner with them. Enable them. They're excited and interested in your platform, and they're working for free. Twitch doesn't understand that. Twitter doesn't understand that. Why do you think so many folks use Microsoft Office? Because you can extend and customize Excel. You can extend and customize Word, PowerPoint. Because you can write whatever code you want around a Word document, around a spreadsheet, to do all kinds of interesting things. That's why they're so popular. That's why they're so dominant. That's why so many folks use it. Because when you need to start customizing those features, you don't need to write a whole new application. There's an API there with complete capabilities and hooks into your complete organizational graph to be able to do whatever you want. And because it integrates with Teams and SharePoint and OneDrive and all these other features in the Microsoft ecosystem, you don't have to think about, how do I integrate with my Google storage and my AWS EC2 instance and my Zoom presentation. You don't have to think about any of that stuff. It's already hooked up for you. The APIs are already there. Because the recognition is there that you want to customize. There's a passionate developer group out there that is going to want to do more than what ships with the initial product. Enabling and allowing that to grow does amazing things for a product. And Twitch and Twitter cut that off. Cut it off hard. And when you take away something that your passionate fans are interested in and are helping you, oh yeah, you're getting some of the tea now. You're not getting all of it. When you take that away, why are they going to help you in the future? So, as a Twitch partner, do they ask me for feedback on the service and how to improve? Sure do. Yep, I get surveys all the time. So, and actually, our friend Imperial, you know Imperial, Misty. She does sewing. She plays The Sims at night. She does a bunch of other creative things. She's a Twitch ambassador, and point blank, she said the creative communities, the non-gaming communities, have the attendance at TwitchCon has gone down significantly. Oh, YouTube's even worse for integrating with. Twitch gives you the opportunity to integrate with. YouTube, it's even worse. But the Twitch non-gaming communities have effectively, I don't want to say disappeared, but they're not showing up at TwitchCon. And she's running a survey to collect some feedback about to collect some feedback about why folks from our communities don't go to TwitchCon. Let me copy this. Copy link. And paste it here. Yeah, there it is. She's running a survey. She says, while at TwitchCon, I really wished I saw more of us, the Twitch creative viewers, the non-gaming content folks. We talked at length about it during her first stream back, and I wanted to dig a little deeper and see if I could get more information and help Twitch create more programming at TwitchCon, right? More content, more interactions there that would entice non-gaming folks to come out and enjoy the event. So she's running this survey to get some feedback from folks. Now, I filled out and responded, and quite frankly, there's in the 3 events that I was at, including a virtual event in the middle, the 3 events that I was at over the last month for our community, I ran into and I connected with more of our viewers at tech conferences than I would at TwitchCon. Would I run into more streamers at TwitchCon? Absolutely. Absolutely. But here's the thing. Most of the other streamers at TwitchCon don't care about our content. They would never raid us. They would never connect with us. They have no interest in us. We're the nerds. I need that clip from Ogre in Revenge of the Nerds. I need that nerds clip. That's one we need. Oh, we need that. Yes. I need to get that clip. So it's a discussion, it's a interaction that we want to work on. And connecting with those other streamers is going to lift all of us up. You see Pirate Software getting interviewed and brought into all these gaming discussions, even though he's streaming and typically talking about how to build games. But he's getting pulled in and appearing in all kinds of gaming event things. Yeah. It was on a Kickstarter, this keyboard, Juan. Yes. This wasn't the first one on the Kickstarter. The first one was called the Raise, but this is called the Defy, and there's the link to it. You made a lot of money developing add-ins for finance companies using Excel. Yes, exactly. Eddie says YouTube is terrible. Totally. TikTok's API is awful, and they will not let you use it unless you're. There are parts of TikTok's API that you're not allowed to use, like searching. You're not allowed to use that. Junie has some feedback on TwitchCon on the creative part. You were in Play in the Mud stream, and she spoke about that. Yeah. There's an area at TwitchCon that they call Creators Alley. Artists Alley, that's what I'm thinking of. Artists Alley. And it's a place for the folks who do art, who create things, sewing, painting, ceramics, like Play in the Mud. Love Play in the Mud. I have a number of her mugs, and you've seen me. It's been a while since I've used them on stream, but I've bought a number of her coffee mugs and used them on stream. But Artist Alley is a place for those folks who create things on Twitch to show off what they're doing. I would love to see software developers be able to show what they're doing there also. Our friend Quiltoni sets up a booth there and shows off the quilts that she makes live on stream and sells patterns and bags and other things that are byproducts of making quilts on stream. It'd be great to be able to see software developers talk about stuff there. Code is cooler than it once was, but yes, we're still nerds. Totally. We're geeks. Am I used to it yet? The keyboard? Yes, I am very much used to it. There's still features and things that I want to put into the macros and capabilities in here. Like navigating around with tmux is hard to do. So we can create some macros to make that easier. So there's the there's a link to Imperial's survey. Check it out. Let them know. The same problem is happening with Stack Overflow. I had a phone call with Stack Overflow last night. I had a phone call with Stack Overflow last night. I can't talk about it just yet, but we had a phone call. And it was a fantastic conversation that went longer than it was scheduled for, but it was fun. It was fun. It was a great discussion. I'll share more about that in the next few weeks. So, to be in that alley, you had to stream what you sell. It was mostly illustrators. There were very few crafters that make things due to the lack of knowledge and communication from Twitch. Yes. So, they didn't do a great job of promoting this space that they had available there. So, but where's the interaction and promotion for these folks to do more with each other? Twitch started creating what they call create content clubs. No, I'm not redesigning Stack Overflow. So, and what Twitch is effectively doing is they're creating what the Live Coders is a place for folks that stream and talk about software to get together and talk about the practice. We'll see how it evolves. I was one of the initial group invited to join the coding group over there. Some of the other folks that you know, that you've seen out there, if they happen to also be live coders, like Lana Lux and Finite Singularity, are signed up and joined in there as well. So, I'm supposed to have some sort of a badge or something visible somewhere. I don't know where it is. Is it on my channel? Is there a badge or something there that says content creator on code or something? No. There's supposed to be something that shows up. Oh, I cannot call into my own stream. Look at that. I can't. These folks don't understand that, like, unless you have the call-in thing plumbed into your broadcast, you can't call in. So, all right. Let's go back over here and dig back in and talk about. I've got about a half hour, 45 minutes. Gosh, we've been having so much fun chatting. So the text command is in the text responses are what I call an extended command. And the extended command is yeah, I can set the title too. Here we go. It's all loaded. It's all loaded into a collection over here and stashed inside of a field so that when the bot is running and right here it is registering, go add all of those commands so that they're sitting out there, and when you type a command, it processes that chat message and if it's one of those extended commands that's out there, and it can handle it, it will go and process and do that thing. So if we can execute, if you're allowed to execute it, great. If it's not too fast. Blazor Musk, hello, welcome. And then it finally executes, and if there's something to do afterwards, go do that cleanup, do whatever that thing is. Like, set the last command time so that folks don't run it too fast. Simple idea, right? So that text command over here, where right now it loads it from configuration. Right, where is it? There it is, in the startup here. It goes and loads it from configuration. Let's put it in a database. there is an administrative user interface for this, and let's allow that administrative user interface to be able to configure and manage these. Eventually, we'll put that administrative user interface somewhere where moderators can access and manage them. Also, then I could make that content available so that I can load it onto a panel on the channel so that you can see, here's a list of all the sound effects that you can play. We could do that. A little bit of work, but it can be done. Now, before I get into any of that, we should also make sure we call out here. So here's the project. This is .NET 6. And we're about to go into .NET 9. So we should update this. We should update these. Look at that. I'm even using Newtonsoft JSON in there. We need to get rid of that, John. Right? Like page title command. Oh! This isn't what I thought it was. When you post a link into chat, it goes and gets that page, grabs the title, and writes it out into chat. Manage NuGet extension. It is pretty awesome. Yep. Hey, Daryl Duck, you remember .NET Framework 1? Same here. I would like to get to this as a cloud bot, yes. Right, so if I go into my chat box there, right, and I type bing.com, that's so interesting that it tells me Bing. If we say x.com, nope, it's not giving me a title. What? Devblogs, Microsoft.com/.net. There we go. That's the .NET blog. There you go. JeffreyFritz.com. Right, that's my blog. There you go. So there's the title of the page that we linked. There's also a command in here that crawls images and returns a description of that image. So if you drop a link to an image, if it can get to it, it will inspect and report back using an AI service, using, I forget what Azure AI service it is, but it'll tell you, here's what the image is. That way, if somebody drops a link to an image, we know what it is before you go through and click on it. Right, so I'm going to bring up Bing here, and I'm going to go grab... I'm going to grab this image. Come on now, there it is. Yeah, come on, show me the image. Really? What? Oh, they base 64 encoded that, John. Bing, you sly dog, you. I'm trying to grab an image from the front of an Amazon store. Bing, you... Wow. Copy image link. Here we go. Hey, Conrad. Hello. Nope. That's not it. Hang on. Wrong. Yeah. And if I paste in Go, yeah, that's it. And I come back over here to Twitch, and we paste. So there's a link from Bing, and it's going to come back, and it should tell us what that image is. Or not. It's supposed to do that. Might not have... No matter. That's what it's trying to do. Alright. So, these are, I think, interesting features that we've added, that we've got over here that we can work with, that I'm going to leave out here. But I want to take the sound effects and the text messages, and I want to put them into, I'm going to work on my pronunciation here first. I want to put those into a database so that I can work through them and manage them separate from living inside this little text box, this little text file. What the heck is this? No. Okay. Moving on. So, I want to update things to .NET. Probably .NET 9 is where we should go with this. Put a little web user interface in front of these items and store things in some sort of database. Probably not SQLite. I can even write them into a JSON file that's mounted. Because they're going to get read and not really randomly accessed on a regular basis. Where else could I put them? I could put them in Azure Storage. Azure Storage is very, very cheap to just put things in and let it sit there. Azure Table Storage. Even if I'm, right, because when I'm running the bot, I clearly need to be connected to the internet. So even if I'm running here locally, that's okay. Because I need to be connected to the internet, right? In order to stream. So to put a list of commands in Azure Storage that gets loaded up and refreshed every so often. Put the sound effects. If I put the sound effects in blob storage, not terrible. They get downloaded and streamed and shared whenever they're called for. And they'll download and play quickly. Right? My sound effects aren't that big. Right? Right, I've got sound effects like this that I've never played, that I recorded, that are out there. Stuff like this. Congratulations. You've won a full case of diabetes. That's right. World exclusive. Yeah, world exclusive. Totally. No, not that one. I wanted this one. So I recorded this.
GitHub Copilot. Faster, smarter, at the speed of a prompt.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to that fairy wings behind the...
Yep. Just weird stuff that I've recorded. That's just out there, all kinds of voiceovers, but they're all like a couple K. They're not giant. So I also want file size sitting there, yeah. I've got a couple of these that are like a meg, but those are WAV files. The MP3s are a couple hundred K, so they'll download quickly when I'm streaming. Yeah. And there's stuff here that I really shouldn't play on stream. Blob storage can hold any kind of file format. Hey, DJ Deepex. Oh, yeah. You put your VC in a separate folder. I have them in many separate folders. This is only a test. If this were a real Fritz emergency, you'd be hearing about freaking out and panic. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I can't play some of these things. No. No. Oh, I think I could play this one.
Way to go, dumbass.
The collection of joy that we could be sharing here on stream.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah. I thought that'd be fun on a Halloween stream or two, but you can only get canceled once. Oh, no. Yeah, and there's recordings that I've done for other folks. Do it in work together mode with Scott and a terminal UI? No. No. So not the image descriptor. We don't need that one, but the text command. Let's put the music back on. But I think I want to move some of this stuff into an Azure. I think we can use Azure storage and load up blob storage, load up table storage with a collection of these. Put a little either a command or a button inside the user interface to reload the text commands from out there. Reload the audio commands, and we can load up and make this extensible and do some interesting things with it. I think so. We want to upgrade this to .NET 9. The Stream Tools program itself. Oh, wait, do you see this? This is MVC. This is MVC. I wouldn't convert it to Blazor, but I think I would add on Blazor Server Interactive. No. Blazor WebAssembly. Yeah, I think I would do that. You asked about a file manager as a replacement of Explorer. Oh, dear Lord. Why? Why? What's wrong with Windows Explorer? What doesn't it have that you're looking for? Because there are folks that build extensions onto Windows Explorer, right? The File Explorer that's out there in Windows. Oh yeah, it's very possible. And like I said, there are folks that have built extensions. The question is, what are you looking for? What are you trying to accomplish? Is it possible? Sure. Blazor Hybrid, you can absolutely do that. You can absolutely, with Blazor, reach in with a Blazor Hybrid application that's built with .NET MAUI. You can reach into the local file system and interact with it. Yes, indeed. You probably wouldn't. You're not going to get the same performance that you already get out of Windows Explorer. Hey, Rita, how you doing there? Guten Nachmittag. Hope you're doing well. See, look, see that? I see somebody from Berlin and I break out the German. Right? So if I'm going to upgrade this to .NET 9, first off, I need to get .NET 9. And I need to, yeah, I'm going to need to go through and patch a bunch of these projects. So I wrote my own libraries to connect to the various streaming services, because originally the Fritz Stream tools didn't connect to just Twitch. You could connect these to Mixer and other services. I could connect it to YouTube and do the same thing. Right, there's iChat service. So, where is it? There's Mixer. There's Twitch. I could add YouTube in here. And this knows how to connect out and interact with and work with Twitch and get things like the current number of, not just interaction with chat, but get the current number of followers, get the current number of viewers, and interact with those. Do I upgrade those? I don't really use those anymore. No, it's not. I don't use those anymore. Users joined, and I have a collection. So I can actually, with this tool, I can actually put up, here's the number of folks that are currently in chat. Right? I have a web component that will show that. Web page that will show that. And I wrote my own library to connect and work with Twitch. What do I think about an unsafe call inside C#? You better have a good reason for it. And you better manage the interactions with it. I would isolate it to the nines. I would not let any of the scope of that creep outside of the current class, the current struct, whatever it is that you're encapsulating it in. Totally usable, totally doable, and that's one of the features of the language, is being able to integrate vertically like that. I would isolate it as much as possible to protect the rest of your application. Because unsafe things are unmanaged code, and they'll behave funny in you if they sneak out into other parts of your application. Isolate it, contain it, manage it within one object. You'll be in good shape. You need unsafe to mutate strings. Oh, come on now, Fuel Snable. Come on now. Like, Do that with a span of T then. That's it doesn't get any more unsafe than that, working with a span of T. So let's go through and see what's involved in starting to, well, first off, I need to get my hands on the .NET 9 runtime. Right? Like that's a thing. So I do have the .NET install script. Because I install directly. I don't use apt to install .NET on my Linux machines. This way I'm sure exactly which versions I'm going and grabbing. So STS, LTS, no. I want to get a preview version. So I can say -Q preview with this. So let's do -Q preview. See what that does. All right. What other channels do I need to specify a different channel? So if I say -C 9.0, will I get it? -C 9.0. There we go. All right, so I'm getting the look at that. It's an RC1 that I'm getting. So your friend of yours is working on a binary format. Mm-hmm. So, what do we got? Really? There it is, 9.0 RC1. Yep, it's using the RC1. I thought I could just... Right, I thought I could do that. There you go. 9.0 RC1. All right. So I have .NET 9. Next steps. Yeah, the .NET team knows why they're using unsafe, and they know how to use the garbage collector and when to use the garbage collector. All right, so let me go back into dev Fritz dot stream tools. Okay. So I'm going to go and we'll let the chaos commence. Let's start gutting this thing like a fish. Well, hang on. Let's create a branch. Right? I'm a big fan of creating branches for these things. This is a chore, and this is, I shouldn't, see how I'm stretching there? Because my shift is here under my pinky, and the underscore is up here under my index. What I should be doing, I also have shift under my thumb, my right thumb here. I should do this. And then we can say, right, net 9. There we go. So now I have a branch for doing the upgrade to .NET 9. And now it can work, and it doesn't matter if I break anything, I can revert. So there's a console version of the chatbot that works in an older version here. Let's just It refers to... Yes, I know. Go away. I'm just going to upgrade these to 9, 9, 9, 9. And it sounds like I'm saying something angry to the Germans. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. There we go. But Fritz Chatbot references Streamlib core. Get rid of this thing. Look at these old versions of things. And I don't think it's working with Fauna anymore. We can get rid of that one too. While we're in here, but I'll start down here. Yeah, there we go. Look at this. So we'll take you, .NET 9. And what happens if I make these 9? I'm going to leave that. And I'd really like to remove Newtonsoft JSON. Because I've kind of standardized on system text JSON. Let me go into this project. Right, so this is Streamlib core, which has a bunch of the references and things. Yeah, unsafe work is not something that every project is doing. If you're optimizing for unsafe, there's low-level speed things that you're looking at. 99% of the .NET projects out there, you're going to be able to optimize and do something better in your code. Only if you're building a low-level library or project or something are you actually going to need to get into unsafe code and memory optimizations like that. Let's do a .NET restore and see what happens here. Well. First off, new .NET restore experience there. Unable to find package greater than 9, nearest version 9.0 RC. So we're going to have to do this as a... let's do this as -star. Right, and do that again. There it goes, restoring. Build succeeded. I didn't tell you to build. Now you can build. No. .NET support policy failed with one error. The typer namespace Newtonsoft on Twitch token config. You're gonna let me? Yes. You. Goodbye. Because I'm removing you. And that's a lot of red. String builder. I actually don't see any. Oh, there it is. JSON convert. We can do JSON serializer. And come here, you. No. Right? I should be able to say system text JSON. What? Oh. the implicit usings are not turned on. Implicit usings. Right? I kind of take it for granted that those are out there. I don't need another. So now .NET build. It's probably still not going to get it, but no, JSON serializer. But why isn't it JSON serializer? No. System text JSON. Do I not have system text JSON referenced? Cool. Okay. JSON serializer. And then it should be, sure, Copilot, do your thing. You're not doing anything. This should be just deserialize. Yeah. Don't want you opening a new one. I want you to just drop down into there, man. .NET build, what do we got? Build succeeded. And all of this red can be ignored. But upgraded to .NET 9. Interestingly, yeah, system text JSON, there it is. Version 804, no. Give me that version. Right? Do that build again. Build succeeded 2.4 seconds. Done. All right, one down. So this is Chatbot, and the only project it referenced is Streamlib Core. So I can start to move this one to .NET 9. FaunaDB, we're going to try and get that thing removed from here. We no longer work with Fauna. Nice company, helped us out with some things. Don't need it anymore. Isn't there a NuGet? NuGet. I want to do update NuGet package. I'm in here. No, see, it's not going to give me the previews. Yeah. But I thought there was... like, there it is. Like, if I just paste in that other version... Are we going to have problems here? Right? Like... I don't know about you, but I find this really annoying, having to go through and... Now, there is central package management you can do. And we'll get rid of... Newtonsoft. So, this is Chatbot. And I am just about out of time. One error, 2 warnings. Systemnet HTTP has a known high security vulnerability. REST client runtime. SignalR, ASP.NET Core SignalR. The newest version is 1.1. Wow. Alright. Do that one more time. And then I need to run. Yep. So I'm going to wrap this up right here. And I have a meeting to get into. I've got some recordings that I'm doing later today. So let's wrap all this up. This one. Oh, yeah. Git status. Sure. -am, and we'll say, updating to .NET 9. And I'm going to git push -u. Now, come on now. Really? You're gonna make me type this whole thing, aren't you? Set upstream origin sure net 9. There it goes. You can find this out on my GitHub. This branch that you saw me working on is now available. Dear Lord, there's too much. We need to clean that up a little bit. But there it is, Chore Net 9. There's a bunch of Dependabot stuff in there I need to clean up, but you can find this out there. We can go and tweak and tune and have a good time working on this together over the next few streams. I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow. I'm actually going to be out with the car in at the dealership getting some work done. But I will be back on Monday. I am going to live stream on Monday next week. All right. We're going to have some fun building, tuning, tweaking, working on some of this stuff together as we advance that Fritzbot and get it working again. But for now, it's time for me to go. Let me get you checked out, connected with somebody who's doing something cool on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. There are lots of great videos available here on my channel. But for now, let me get you rated over to... let me get you rated over to... Oh, gosh. Wow, look at that. AWS is finally getting folks tuned in to their stream. Wow. Because it's usually nobody watching. So I'm pleasantly surprised. Let me get you connected to our friend Layla Codes It. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back, like I said, on Monday, and we'll do some more coding together. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll be keeping an eye on this repository. We'll talk about it a little bit in Discord, and we'll build and get this .NET 9 update done and start adding the capabilities so that we can manage in a nice web-based user interface a list of the text chat commands and sound effects that you can play on my stream. All right? Have a great rest of your day. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.